Today we'll start with subqueries. Today we'll start with subquery. Okay. Now, what is subquery or how it is different from join? Because in subquery also you are working with multiple tables. In the case of subqueries, we are also working with multiple tables as we are doing in the case of joins. Now, how things change is that when we are working with subquery, it is more like you are getting a single value from one table and using it in another table. Okay, you are getting particular values from a one table and then using it in another table. Whereas in the case of join, you are first connecting these two tables and then you are making the operation of group by, order by, or whatever operation you want to go for, right? So that is the basic difference between a subquery and a join statement. That in the case of subquery, you are getting a particular value from one table and using that only in the next table. That is the difference between subqueries. Now, if we take a simple example that let's say, okay, suppose if we have a question, get me the name of actors who worked in more than average number of movies. Now, get me the name of actors who worked in more than average number of movies. Now, one way is that you join the actor table with the film actor table. So we have a table as select star from actor. Now, if you run this, this is the actor details. And similarly, we have another table as star from film actor. Now, here we have the actor ID along with number of films they have worked in, along with the film ID they have worked in. And we have to find what is the average number of movies they have worked in, like for each and every actor, how many average movies they have worked in. And then, let me give you this. Okay. Now here, what we can simply do is, one of the way is select star from. One method, if we use it using joins, what we have to simply do is uh, first name, last name, and count of film ID, comma, from actor in a join film actor on actor dot and is equal to film dot right. So if we run this, okay, we didn't add a group by clause. Let's group by group by first name and last name. Center. So we can see every actor and the number of films they have worked in. The number of films they have worked in. Now, the question says we have to find the average number of movies. So, we have to find the average of this number, average of all this number, right? So, what I can do over here is I can then find the average of this again. Like this is the one value I got. Now, I can do the average of this and then I can then put a filter for the same movies. I can put a filter for the same. But if we do it using subquery, it becomes much more easy. The reason being, first, let's see how we can find the numbers. So count of film ID. film actor. Okay. And if I just put it as average of count like this, that is the number of movies we got. Now what we can simply do is select average ratio. Average number of movies done by each actor. So here we got count of this values. Now it can be done using CTE queries. Okay, let's learn the CTE query also. Now CTE queries also will be learning side by side because these are the two topics we are going to cover today, subquery and CTE. It would be a much better example of CTE, so let's discuss that itself. Now what is CTE? It is common table expression. Okay, it is a common table expression. It is also useful when you want to perform complex queries in a smaller pieces. Okay, when you want to perform a very complex kind of queries, in those kind of cases, we use CTEs. Okay. Now here, what you can possibly do is you can pass it. And now the syntax for CTE is with name of CTE or name of that temporary table of expression. You can give it as cell count as. Now that will be considered as a single table. Now what you can do is select average of, let's give it a name, from film count. Now if you run this, you get the average number, and because the main question was like get the like this itself, let's use this over here. Use this having count of film ID. Greater than. Now that is what we can call it as a, that is what we have as a CTE along with a subquery. Now what is the CTE first? Let's understand this. The CTE is just a common table expression. This is what we call it as a common table expression. Now if you run the CTE query, it means that whenever you have a bigger task to perform, now here the task was first we have to find the average number of movies for each actor. Then we have to find the average of them, and then we have to find the name of those actors. Okay, then we have to find the name of those actors. Now what we have done is first we have get the same count ID from film. So that is stored as a variable. This values this. query values has been stored as a variable or as a value in this particular variable. Okay, the values or the table given by this as an output has been stored in a this particular variable. And now we are using this again in this subquery part. You can see the average count fell, the average count fell, and now we are again passing it in the same query as we are doing over here. Okay, as we are doing over here, as we have already discussed it over here. So we are again passing it having count greater than the average count of this number. So that is how you are using the subquery. And you can also see the example of CTE in this also, that you're getting one value from one table and using it in this particular table. Okay, so that is how you are using the subqueries. That is the use of subqueries. You get a particular value and then utilize it in another table.